Greetings, Nick Bowcott at a speedway with the one, the only First Lady of Hard Rock Guitar, Lita. What brings you here, apart from the fact it's a racetrack?
Well, we've got a great show booked tonight, so we're here to rock and roll the place. Plymouth, Indiana.
Yeah, it is a great show.
We're gonna rock it.
Their sound check was awesome, and she didn't pay me to say that. It was just really, really good. We know Mr. Vivian Campbell, a mutual friend of ours, is about to blow our doors off with his sound checks. We're going to keep this quick and cheerful.
Yes.
So, why do you still do what you do? Because you're an icon from the She Rock Awards. The guitar player voted you an all-time legend, and here you are in Indiana in a racetrack.
What am I supposed to be doing? Because rock and roll saves my life. It saves my life every single day. If you're having a bad day or anything, you don't feel good, it's just get your guitar on and rock out. It saves my life every day.
There you go, kids. A good reason to buy a guitar from Sweetwater. It will save your life. Are you hearing that, folks?
That's right.
Anyway, so talking about guitar, I got into you way, way, way back when I was old. No. Early 80s.
Don't ever use the O word.
No, the O word is bad. Although obese works. No, sorry. Gotta Let Go. I heard that riff, Gotta Let Go.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I first got into doing the major shape. Dan, 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 dan. I stole shamelessly stole it from you. How did you write that riff?
Oh, God. I don't remember, honestly. But the one thing that is tricky with that riff is when Patrick and I play it together live, if he's a little bit out, or if I add a vibrato on it, the riffs clash.
Yeah, that third's a dangerous
tricky.
one.
It's a tricky riff. And so, or if the intonation's out or anything on the guitar, it just really makes it sound weird. But it's a great riff. And
yeah, it's that pesky major third.
And it was a huge hit on MTV.
Ozzy, which is why I got it in the first place.
That's it.
And funny enough, I still teach that to this day because it's a great sort of, okay, you think you can play this from start through finish, and it's got everything you need, the sliding chords, the chugging, the arpeggiation. So learn Gotta Let Go, which is how she opened this fine video.
Baby.
And talking about hooky stuff, then I got into you as a guitar player and a singer, and as a rhythm player and a great riff writer, and then I heard your solo in Back to the Cave. And one of the things I love about it is the fact, I don't know if you were a Gary Moore fan, but it reminds me of Parisian Walkways in a way, because that lead hook you play at the start, which is kind of, it's a solo, but it's a hook. That's an integral, that's as big a hook as the Back to the Cave vocal, in my opinion. Was that a deliberate ploy on your behalf?
I always, recording with Mike Chapman, I don't know about always, but I have a tendency to write riffs and solos that kind of are melodic.
Yeah.
And you can come away from them and you can sing them, like, for instance, the solo in Close My Eyes Forever.
Which I'm going to ask you to close with, by the way, because that's a wonderful, that's a very lyrical solo. So how long did it take you you compose that, I guess?
Yeah, well, it's just a melodic piece.
Right.
And you become pretty good at it over a period of time. You can kind of throw those melodic riffs in anywhere. And the whole structure of guitar playing has changed so much since the early days, of like my favorite guitar players like Ritchie Blackmore and Tony Iommi.
Oh yeah, too.
And of course Michael Schenker, who is just badass. But a lot of their playing, you can almost hum it, and you come away from it and you can sing it again, and each note means something. It's not just a bunch of notes.
What a concept! Notes meet, as opposed to just look. Like TikTok nowadays. God bless them; they're amazing players.
Campbell, in Soundcheck now, he's the same. He's one of those really tasty guitar players, and Back to the Cave is just one of those tasty licks that is always so fun to play.
Couldn't agree more. You a Brian May fan, by the way?
Love Brian May.
Yeah, because he's the same kind of thing. You can hum that Bohemian Rhapsody solo.
Yes,
in the same sort of filing cabinet.
Yes.
Hummable, great solos. Hummable, memorable solos.
And every note means something.
I think Brian came up with the phrase "song within a song."
Yes.
And you do that well.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Very, very well.
I love that phrase. That's a great phrase. It makes a lot of sense. Working with Mike, he had said to me while we were recording there's a beginning, a middle, and an ending.
Right.
To the solos and to the songs. And so when you start a solo, make sure that it's, that you're starting the solo, like it has to pick up from the lead vocals and almost carries on the melody of the song.
Right.
And so, then there's the middle and then the ending. And the ending has got to resolve either on a nice sustaining note or something insane, or you great big bunch of noise, dive bomb, and make every note count.
So another lesson, make every note count.
Yeah.
And preferably memorable in such a way you can hum it. Even when it's fast, you can hum it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's what we get from our favorite guitar players.
So what would your advice be to this? Because the music industry's changed so much over the last just 2 decades.
Yes.
Someone out there looking at this going, I want to be this lady. I want to be exactly like her. I want to be a rock star. What would your advice be?
Yeah, that is so awesome. And I love those people, so much that want to be that. But I mean, it's been a long road.
Right.
Starting with the Runaways back in 1976, we were on tour with the Ramones.
Yep, and you were what, 16, 17?
17 when we went on tour with the Ramones. And that was my first tour.
What an education.
What an education, exactly. So, it's okay to get down and dirty and get in the pit and rock out with, it doesn't matter if it's your next door neighbor or if it's, a great big famous rock star. And I think it's important to pick up whatever you can learn from all of these guys.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. So if they have something to learn, then pick their brain and see if you can learn it, if they'll let you. You know what I mean? So when I was a kid, I had my neighbors would come over and the guy up the street would come over in his van and we would sit in the back of his van and play guitars. And I would pick up stuff from the guy at the park and just anywhere, anytime, I was always ready to learn something. And then when the Runaways came around, I already knew a lot of riffs and a lot of, guitar solos and stuff. So I was ready. And I don't think there's any time, you're too young or any place that's wrong or anybody that you shouldn't be learning from, learn it. And now we have YouTube, which is a little polished in some of the lessons.
Maybe too polished, maybe.
And that's
down
the
and dirty.
problem.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to take your guitar apart and see how it works and try stuff and rip stuff out and put stuff in and dismantle that thing and then try and put it back together again.
Yeah. So there you go. So be a sponge and don't be afraid to, number one, make mistakes. Number two, take stuff apart. Unless it's electronical and can kill you, then don't do that.
Yeah, no.
But a guitar, take it, change the pickups yourself. Don't pay someone else. And I think Vivian's telling us to be quiet.
Yay, Viv.
I'm going to ask you
Okay.
to please, if you wouldn't mind, play us out by playing the Back to the Cave hook. And then if you wouldn't mind, that song within a song. Thanks, Vivian.
Yes.
Could you do that for us?
Yes, I'll do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lita Ford, thank you so
Thank you, Nick.
very much.
Thank you, Sweetwater.